The Trinity Centre was effectively started 35 years ago when the Trinity Community Association, which runs it, which I'm the secretary of, was set up in 1979, and it all came about because of the availability of government funding at the time through a thing called the Inner City Partnership. The availability of this building, which was a redundant church building in a very good position on the high street, and the vision of a community chaplain working for the church at that time.
Well, the Trinity Centre is a community centre, is there for the community to use as they need it. So we rent and let space to different groups and different organisations to get together and do things. We try to provide what people need. We do tend to have a focus on disability groups and people less fortunate, and see if we can help them first and foremost, although the centre's open to everyone. We do have a whole range of different activities available within the building. For example, downstairs we'll have a nice carpeted, comfortable area where people can sit and meet and have conferences, or just sit and chat and have a cup of tea, or hold community events for information and advice. We also have smaller rooms where for meeting and for different activities. We'll have a machine knitters group who use one room, and we have a crafts group in another room. Whereas upstairs we'll have a much more, an area more geared to physical activity. It's a wooden sprung floor, so we have dancing up there as well as keep fit, and all sorts of more physical based activities. It's been difficult getting the funds in order to improve the place and improve the facilities in here. So that's what we've been concentrating on for the last 3 to 4 months and continue to do. But we are making some progress. The place has been freshened up quite considerably, and most of the people who've come into the centre have commented on how much nicer it is already. But as far as we are concerned, this is just the start of a new journey.
Trinity Centre looks really great now. We've got new carpets. The whole place has been kitted out, has been repainted and patched up. I think that's the first time probably in about 20 years that it's had a new look of paint, and it's looking really good. It's looking really good. So it's becoming more and more of a user-friendly and beautiful space for people to use.
In Trinity Centre, we've had it totally refurbished. We've had the place decorated so it's very light and bright. And we've also been very lucky in that we got a donation of new carpeting, so we've got new lighter, brighter carpeting, and the whole centre has had a clean lick of paint. It's a much more pleasant place to be. The people who use this love the facilities. It's very accessible, especially to disabled people. We have a lot of disabled people who use the centre. There's totally flat access with ramps at the back. And we have a lift which goes up to the first floor, and an accessible WC here. So, and a loop system for people with hearing problems. So it's especially advantageous to people with disabilities. People in the local area love coming here because it's just off the high street. They can go shopping and pop in here while they're passing. And also local buses and the metro station are only around the corner, so it's very accessible by public transport.
We do have quite a few more new groups coming in who are seeing the centre being decorated and becoming more welcoming, I think, and more comfortable. So hopefully the more people come in and the better we can make the centre, it will be, hopefully things will grow from there.
St Edmunds has always worked in close partnership with the Trinity Community Centre. They've leased the building off us for the last 30 years, but we've always been really willing to offer support, especially on their Trinity committee. So I've served on the committee at Trinity for the last 9 years, trying to, I suppose, share our buildings and share our resources, and just generally to support each other so that we can provide more hospitality and more venue and meeting space for people living and working in Gateshead.
Trinity Centre used to be supported by Gateshead Council. We used to have 2 workers here and lots of IT support and grants, but because of the austerity measures, the councils have to cut down on their support towards local charities and we're no longer able to support us. In order to sustain ourselves over the period of the cuts, we had to work hard putting applications into grant funders and foundations to try and get the funding to pay for the facilities officers' salaries so we could keep the centre open, and also fundraise for the different running costs.
We're trying to access as many different funders as possible for the different projects that we have in the building. Some of those would be Greg's Foundation, which have been very helpful to pay for a caretaker, which we obviously need within the centre. But we've also accessed grants from the National Lottery and from Sport Relief and from other trusts, the Joycey Trust, Garfield Western, the Hadrian Trust, the Catalyst Heritage Foundation, Community Foundation, as well as a couple of funds that Gateshead Council have made available through the development grants that they get. But we're always looking for new funders all the time. So if you know of any, please let us know.
I've been arts chaplain here in Gateshead for over 9 years now, but we've been running a gallery for just over 4. So 4 years ago we converted our north wall into a gallery space that we can use for regular exhibitions, anything from paintings and photographs. We've had sculpture and ceramics as well in the gallery, but it's great to bring art to the people and make it easier for people to access an arts environment rather than having to head off down to the quayside. And we've also had a few music events.
We were asked to curate this performance as part of the ICMUS Summer Festival, and the building itself, I mean, it's really impressive. It did serve our purpose. I mean, we're always looking for ways to reach out into the community, and I think Sanctuary Art Space is a perfect example of how the community and the arts can both come together. That is part of a bigger picture, really.
So we currently house Gateshead Deaf Club, who meet here every week, but we also have Gateshead Hearing Loss Support, who help people with hearing difficulties and help people with the hearing aids and change batteries and that kind of thing. So that's working out quite well with them. They are based here permanently now. We also have Gateshead Autism Group, who moved into the building to provide services to people with autism and their families. And we will hopefully have NERAF moving in soon, which deals with people who have difficulties with substance misuse and their families, to support them. And those are the types of organisations that we like to support and that we'd like to try and get more of in the building.
We look after people who have hearing aids. We're looking after actually the aids rather than the people, although they combine, and people can drop in here to have the hearing aids looked at, to ask us questions about equipment that's available, or if they've got any problems relating to the hearing aid. We also do home visiting for the housebound, especially the elderly, because there is no other people who supply the service of going out to their homes and looking at the hearing aid. And we can given YouTube, we can clean this, check it up, supply batteries. If it's something in here, something technical that we know nothing about, we can take this to the hospital for them and take it back to them, either repaired or renewed, which leaving them as little time as possible without it, because it's a lifeline.
I would like to see us be able to buy the building from the Diocese of Durham. We're currently in negotiations to do that. I would like to see us succeed in that. And then I would like to see us be successful with a lottery bid for a redevelopment of the building to bring it up to date, to make it more suitable for modern use, to learn from the mistakes that were made with the original conversion, and basically to equip it for fulfilling much the same role as a community centre, but 35 to 40 years on from its original conception.
I don't know how you could just describe it. It's more like a second home, actually, because we're here, as I say, 5 days now. Although I don't personally do 5 days, we have other volunteers who come in. All of us who work here are volunteers, and we like it that way.
Well, one of the areas where we're weakest on is the question of young people. We have had young people in here over the years, but for one reason or another they've disappeared through time.
Because we managed to get funding from the Rothley Trust, we've managed to get a new computer. We've been donated by an accountancy company some laptop computers. We're getting a brand new big screen, 60-inch screen, with help of the Community Foundation. And we have got Wi-Fi around the building, and we're hoping to have public computers that people can use.
We've had an organisation donate about 5 laptops for use by members, and also we've had the Gateshead CAB promise to donate about 30 computers or more for use by the general public. And what that means is that in the next couple of weeks we can have younger people and students that live in Gateshead around in the building using the free Wi-Fi and the computers for the work they have to do or for other personal uses. So that way we'll be able to get much more volunteers and much more people coming to use the centre.
I'm all for Trinity. I really think that this is the best place we could be. It's so much easier for clients to pop in. There are no stairs because they can use the ramp at the front, and it's on the one level for them, and it's easily accessible, and we're here every morning now, and it's fantastic. We love it here.
I mean, at one level, the fact that we've managed to keep going for 35 years through various ups and downs has in itself been a success. I think the pleasure that people get from using the building and the benefit that they feel from some of the services that are put on in the building for leisure time activity in terms of getting out and taking part in social activities and in receiving advice and support from a lot of the organisations that run activities here. I think that's where I would see the real successes coming from.
Trinity Centre, in my eyes, when I first started coming here 18 months ago, it looked very dire. The council had pulled out their support. It was very dark and dingy in here, and the future did not look too rosy. But since we've managed to bring in a lot more support, we've got new people renting the building, we've got support from foundations and trusts to cover the core costs, and we've had the redecoration of the building. It all looks a lot more rosy for the future, and we're just hoping to get more people and more groups to use the space and use it to its full potential and make it a full-time, vibrant community centre in the heart of Gateshead.